So I've just made myself a coffee. Welcome to my kitchen. My kitchen is a mess, as you can see. This is where I keep all my meat. All my meat is kept in here. This is my air fryer. Let's have a look. My air fryer. It's pretty knackered. And then I do obviously my oven where I cook a lot of my meats. And all of my frying is just on a very simple hob top. And this is where I slave myself off daily. It's not a big kitchen, it's just a little kitchen. We've been here 20 years, near enough 20 years now. So I got myself a coffee. I'm gonna just quickly chat with you, and I'm gonna go in the garden, guys. Now I could go for a walk, but the problem is I've noticed that the signal, guys, is pretty bad at the moment. So I'm gonna go for a walk, but not on a live stream. So obviously this is where everything happens, guys. Look at my little Elvis corner. This is my life. You see all this? This little corner, which, believe it or not, doesn't take up much of the room. So if we go back here, obviously we've got my nice little lovely marital pictures. Look. So pictures of me and the wife. So let's get it straighter. See, guys? You can't really see. Obviously me and Aurora. Our little wedding pictures. Got Yasmin when she was tiny. All of the kids were at my wedding except for Tino, which is what I wanted. I wanted my kids at the wedding. Yeah. We were engaged for a long time, guys. So I've got myself a coffee. Look, there's a picture here of us on our wedding day. I'm stood with my son, Andreas. See, me, the wife, Talia when she was about 11, Rio, he's about 10, and tiny little Yasmin. She's so cute. We were always going to get married, guys, but I just put it off. Yes, that's my world. So if you look at my world from a distance, the bit where I do the Elvis videos in the corner, actually it doesn't take up much of the room. So obviously this is where in the morning I sit here on that sofa and I watch a lot of my Elvis stuff on that TV. So the kitchen is the room I like to be in. My wife likes to be in the lounge, yeah? So the garden, we've actually got a tree guy coming. Thanks, Deborah. Now the garden is an okay size, but the problem we got is these massive trees. You see, giant trees. We have got someone coming to cut back one of them, and it's like £600 to cut one tree back. So yeah, and this part of the garden here is just completely taken over by the trampoline, which to be honest doesn't really get used. And then I have a shed over here where I weightlift. Shall I show you where I weightlift? It isn't very tidy. So I do weightlifting. Let's have a look. They've got the multi-gym there. See, multi-gym, which I still use. And then those weights that I'm pointing at now, I've had these weights since I was 19 years old. Could you imagine that? I've had those weights nearly 40 years. I still use them, and I can still lift a lot of weight. I'm still pretty strong. And then, so this room here, which is like, does have a ceiling, is where I used to restore the classic cars. Yeah, so I would bring them in here. I would spend up to a year on each one in this room. So a bit untidy. I'm not the tidiest person in the world. We have a chestnut tree here, which actually does make chestnuts. Okay, so I got myself a nice coffee. Oh, the wind's picking up now. It's been quite nice today, but the wind's picking up. So this, I've had a lot of, yeah, chestnuts are lovely, aren't they, Deborah? Now I have, surprisingly, I've had a lot of comments concerning the Elvis evolution, like a lot of comments, yeah. So we're gonna read through those at some point, and I've had a hell of a lot of comments concerning Alicia, KERWIN, Ginger Alden, Billy Smith, and Joe Smith. So that interview that I reviewed this morning, that was 7 years old, where Billy starts the interview off, Billy Smith, by saying, "Oh, you know, I have nothing against Ginger." Quite a few people are asking me questions about that. I think it's because he's, Billy has changed his tune a little bit when it comes to Ginger. It's obvious in the, decades ago that he wasn't that keen. Yeah, I'm not trying to say anything trashy about Billy Smith or negative. I like Billy Smith, I like EFM, I like Memphis Mafia Kid as well. But we as fans, looking back over the last 30 to 40 years, can see a change in some of the stories that have been told concerning Ginger, concerning Alicia, KERWIN, concerning Billy and Joe's feelings, and concerning Elvis, of course. So it has opened up a bit of a Pandora's box, because my researcher has sent me some details. In fact, both my researchers are both saying to me now that there was no relationship between Elvis and Alicia. That I think Elvis may have been a bit fond of her, a bit. I think she liked Elvis, but I don't think she wanted it with too much information. But I don't think Alicia KERWIN wanted. I think her, how can I say it? She preferred things to stay as a friendship, because it's clearly obvious that Alicia KERWIN adored Elvis, loved him and respected him, and his friendship was important to her. That's very obvious. I don't see that they were going to be a couple. I don't see that Elvis was going to finish with Ginger, who had not been engaged to that long, to go with Alicia KERWIN. Yeah? Now, some are saying that she was never. Some are saying that Alicia was never gonna go to on the tour with Elvis ever. Lots are saying there was never any romance, but some are saying there could have been some romance. I think it is proven that they went on some trip together. Alicia, Billy and Joe and Elvis went on maybe one or two little trips together. I think that's proven, but it doesn't prove that they had a relationship. It doesn't prove that he was going to finish with Ginger. Don't forget, the basis of what Billy and Smith and Joe Smith's interview is to show that they clearly do not think Elvis was ever going to marry again. They clearly believe that. They're like, no, there's no way Elvis would have married again. I don't care what Ginger says. It was never going to happen. I don't agree with what she's saying about that they had planned to marry in December. Now, of course, Ginger won't like that. Ginger will be like, nah, we were getting married. We were discussing it even the night before he passed. Plans had already been arranged. Now, don't forget, we've had Spa Guy recently trying to prove to us, even showing us the church they were going to marry in, that it 100% they would have got married. They were going to get married 100%. Spa Guy and Trey at Globetrotting, 100% that marriage was going to happen. That's their point of view, their opinion, their research, their evidence. Yeah, obviously we know that Ginger Alden has been is being interviewed by Spa Guy. Spa Guy has interviewed Ginger Alden before. Now remember, I'm a big fan of Ginger Alden, guys. I like Ginger Alden. She's a defender of Elvis. She always speaks well of Elvis. I'm not going to side against Ginger or take sides with Billy until we've had a lot more evidence, a lot more research. We need some more second-hand witnesses as well. We want some witnesses of people that were around, that were there, or, you know, I don't accept that Elvis was just, yeah, he was going to dump Ginger. I don't accept that. He had got engaged to her. Elvis had got engaged to Ginger. That did happen. The ring, the story of the ring is very well known. Ginger's braces, and that's something you do in the future. He wanted to get Ginger. Oh yeah, I've read that about when he went to the dentist. He was trying to help Ginger as well. So is that proven, Leslie? Is that proven though? Is that proven? But you know, I mean, to be honest with you, you get engaged to someone. That's pretty serious, isn't it? So, come on, guys. He did like her. He did like her. But was he in love with her? I'm not sure. Would he have married her? I don't know. She obviously believes they were definitely going to get married. She stuck to her story. She hasn't changed it. It's very hard to catch Ginger out. If you go back 30, 40 years, her story has hardly changed. Hardly. She has said a couple of things that probably didn't need to be said. You know, don't forget, when Elvis died, everyone was clambering to try and throw money at Ginger to say things. We know about the B movie that she made. Yeah, there we are, Leslie. We have learned here at Team Elvis, this is what I was saying to Karen, we have to read between the lines. We can't say that things in books are fact. We can't, even people that were there, even people like Billy and Joe, they have their opinions, but we still have to read between the lines. Their memories are from 40, 50 years ago. And remember, if people have personal angst or personal feelings, things can be jaded. So sometimes things can be said from their point of view regarding their emotions, regarding what they were going through at the time. Same goes for the Memphis Mafia. When they discuss Elvis, there's a lot of emotion there. So we're hearing the point of view of these people based on what they went through, based on how they perceive things, how they portray things. Not always 100% correct. So we, as fans, we're trying to read between the lines and just sort of get an idea of what the truth is. We're sort of digging for the truth. So in the end, what are we forced to do? We weigh up all the different bits of information, research that we're getting, interviews, books. We tie it all together and we just come up with a middle ground of what we feel as fans. Remember, that's all we are as fans, because none of this is our business. As fans, we come up with a feeling of, right, okay, I think that's about as close to the truth as we're going to get as fans, as Team Elvis, you know, around, as fans around the world. Yeah. So come on, guys, none of us will know. None of us will ever know the truth. None of us were there. Yeah. So very interesting topic there. Well, actually, much more interesting than I was expecting. That, I think it was a 12-minute interview that I reviewed this morning on Defending Elvis. And it's obviously Billy and Joe and Danny at Memphis Mafia Kid, Billy and Joe off Elvis Fans Matter. They're discussing Alicia, KERWIN, Ginger, Alden. They're discussing Elvis. One of the most interesting interviews I've ever watched. It's 7 years ago. Didn't you guys find it fascinating? I thought it was amazing. Because you know what made it more endearing to me is that you could really see that Billy was really speaking from the heart. He was almost nervous, not angry, but holding back a bit with a bit of emotion, a little bit tense. So every word that was coming out of Billy Smith's mouth was very passionate, very heartfelt, very meaningful. So that's what I thought. Anyway, guys, I think we have to do another live stream on that video, that 12-minute video. I think we're gonna have to do another live stream on it, maybe tonight, maybe. and properly go through it again, because I did that video not live. Oh yeah, Pat, we know they were engaged. There's no doubt that they were engaged. That's 100%. It's whether or not Elvis did truly discuss marriage, and even the night before he supposedly discussed marriage. Obviously, Spa Guy and Trey recently have done a video. 100% they believe it. I think I'm going to do a live on it. Okay, it's a deal. I'll be live in 2 minutes. 2 minutes on defending Elvis. 2 minutes on defending Elvis. See you later, guys.